I guess, and I didn't even mention with 75 hard, and having two babies, you put on weight because you're carrying babies. And that was another mental journey that I tackled there. But with 75 hard, I'm at 145 now. I ended my last pregnancy at 212 at my highest. So I've also been able to see the changes there, and, incorporating First Form products, into my lifestyle, and just seeing, um, you know, the persistence and the hard work, and changing that mindset around the power that has done in my life over this past year has just been tremendous. And yeah, I don't even have words, I guess, to say, how positive that impact has been in my life, because it just has changed my life. So
What is going on? Hope you're having a fantastic start to the year 2024. Here for the next 2 weeks, every single day, you're going to get to hear a story from someone in the First Form Outdoors crew, everyone from the West Coast to the East Coast, north to south, everything in between, bass fishermen, professional bass fishermen, bird hunters, archers, rifle hunters, everything in between, guys, just outdoorsmen in general, outdoorsmen and women. I want you to understand why they have chosen First Form and First Form Outdoors as their company for supplementation, for nutrition, for workouts, and more, just an outstanding community, and why we want you to be a part of it. So not just from me, but from everyone in the crew, again, from all walks of life and everything outdoors that they really enjoy. You're going to find a story that you can relate with, if not more than one. And I hope you enjoy each one of these stories. Here we go. Let's kick off the new year right. And if you want to join us at First Form Outdoors on the Facebook group, the link is down below. If you have any questions about supplementation, from the protein sticks to the meat sticks, guys, those are my favorite snacks when we're out and about. Also, energy drinks, if that's your thing. We've got everything from post-workout shakes to, in the app that's less than $20 a month, guys, you get a one-on-one advisor. You get someone to help walk you through your nutrition, someone that will hop on live and not just give you a cookie cutter routine, but something to check in with you on a regular basis so you can accomplish your goals here in 2024. Let's get this started off right with the First Form Outdoors crew. Here we go. Hope you enjoy this conversation today and for the next 2 weeks. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. And of course, get out, live your life, and love it. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. And this week we are going over the First Form Outdoors community, some of the people that are leading the charge with the First Form Outdoors community, whether it be on social media, in their own communities, literally from West to East Coast. This week, you guys are going to get people from every portion of the country that are leading the charge here with First Form Outdoors. So we're not just focused on Western hunters, which obviously elk is the best out there. But if you're into Eastern or Midwest hunting, then we've got that for you as well. But we've got Gabby Playle, and Gabby is in Missouri. And I still have yet to find someone from Missouri that says Missouri. So I think that's just a rumor that goes around. It's Missouri because you live in misery when you live there, but it's okay. It's a beautiful state. And Gabby's an awesome individual that is leading the charge with First Form Outdoors as well. Absolutely loves the company, is repping the brand, but also living the lifestyle more than anything and helping out in the community. She is a mother of two, which in and of itself is an accomplishment, especially nowadays when no one wants children. For some reason, I absolutely love having children, and the fact that Gabby has two little hellions running around is, yeah, exactly. But Gabby, introduce people to who you are in a nutshell. Who is Gabby Playle?
Yeah, so I'm Gabby Playle, like you said. I have got two tiny humans at home. One just turned 2 and one just turned 1. We're 366 days apart around here. It's madness, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm married to Zach. Zach is incredible if you know him. He's an introvert at heart and I'm an extrovert at heart, so we're just a match made in heaven. But Zach Playle's my husband, and he is actually who introduced me into the outdoors in the first place. I'm born and raised in Illinois, not to say that I wasn't ever outdoors. It just wasn't how I was brought up. We did spend a lot of time outside. I played all kinds of sports growing up. Softball was kind of my niche and what I stuck with, and ended up playing in college and had an athletic background from that standpoint. But yeah, meeting Zach, my junior year of college, he introduced me to the world of hunting and outdoors, and we went, did all the things: fishing, turkey hunting, whitetail hunting. It was kind of a crash course at first, but the more we spent time together, the more time we were outdoors, the more I got to learn and fall in love with it. Find a new passion after, finishing out my college career and, moving on to bigger and better things in life. Per trade, I guess my 9 to 5, I'm a nurse. I have a background in ER nursing. I did that for 18 months or so in the COVID times. So we've moved on past that. I went to school nursing for 2 years, and then I am now working part-time in a OB gynecology clinic. And that's kind of just where my passion lies as far as that atmosphere of my life. So like I said, I'm a mama, which brings me to the first Phorm Outdoors piece of this adventure. My first baby, Charlie, she's 2. It was a hard postpartum for me. Just hit some highs and lows. Postpartum's a crazy period, and I think everybody really responds to it differently. And I just don't feel like I was so prepared for what that was going to look like for me. And so, you have your baby, you bring them home, and you're so excited, and then you're met with all these emotions. And how do you handle that? And how do you find a positive space with, other people who are positive influences to bring in your life? So that winter, it would have been 2 winters ago, just literally focused all my energy outside. Spent as much time outdoors as possible. I've been a fan of First Phorm products for a long time, but when they really launched First Phorm Outdoors, I saw just the positivity and the incredible atmosphere, the people always just being open and inviting and bringing a positive outlet to outdoors. And I knew that I'm like, okay, well, I'll go spend time outside and I'll, dip my toes in this community and see what it's like. And I've really just fallen in love with it. And as I've gone through 2 postpartums now, a lot of highs and lows with both of them, both completely different deliveries and completely different, sleep habits from kid to kid and whatnot. But each time I have found myself just getting outside. And I had my babies in November, and this past December, I was just really at my low. It was my second postpartum. We were a month in, and I was just having all kinds of crazy thoughts. And I was just like, I don't really know my place in the world right now. Like, what do I do? And Zach encouraged me to go ahead and do 75 hard, which I had tried before and had continuously failed at miserably. But with his encouragement this time, I went ahead and just plowed forward with that and started in December, actually almost a year ago, like in a couple of days from when we're doing this. But so I started with that, and I failed pretty mid-January, but it just started again, and I just kept going and going until I just finally got it and ended up accomplishing that in July of this past year. So I spent a lot of time outdoors this last year, and it just opened up a new clarity for me to be outside, to breathe in fresh air, to see sunshine and see wildlife and, the way that God intended it to be, and just kind of take in time to myself and have that prioritization that I really desperately needed postpartum. So in that journey, 75 Hard teaches you a lot, but it also opens you up to, First Phorm Outdoors and that community, like I said, and that Facebook group, uh, and seeing other moms, going through the same thing that I'm going through, um, and just being an encouraging piece, because I think there is so much negativity out there, um, both in the outdoor space, postpartum moms, mom and in general, you take a lot of heat. Everybody's got an opinion these days. So it's just so good to like finally have found your people and to see, if you were to post something on there, it's just always met so kindly and with, encouragement. And yeah, it's honestly just been a breath of fresh air. um, because also just being new to the outdoor space myself, last, oh gosh, 8 years or so, that can be a really hard place for a lot of people as well. You don't know anything about it, and it's a learning curve. So it's also been a great place for me to ask questions and never ever feel like it's a dumb question, or you should already know this, or but it's just been a great source for me as like educational and for a support standpoint, to get me on the right track to be a better mom and a better wife and a better friend. Uh, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of my journey, I guess. And I didn't even mention with 75 hard, and having two babies, you put on weight because you're carrying babies. And that was another mental journey that I tackled there. But with 75 hard, I'm at 145 now. I ended my last pregnancy at 212 at my highest. So I've also been able to see the changes there, and, incorporating First Phorm products, into my lifestyle, and just seeing, um, you know, the persistence and the hard work, and changing that mindset around the power that has done in my life over this past year has just been tremendous. And yeah, I don't even have words, I guess, to say, how positive that impact has been in my life, because it just has changed my life so tremendously this past year. If you were to have met Gabby of last December, she is not the same person that she is today. And I think that First Phorm Outdoors and even being outside in general has just played such a role in that. I try to encourage as many people as I can to enter this community, because it is just so powerful. They can take hold of you like that. It is a positive place to be, and it's educational too if you're a newbie like me.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely so you've highlighted a lot of really good things, and that's something that, again, for people listening to this is part of the week that we're just discussing full blown First Phorm Outdoors and why each individual has latched on to First Phorm Outdoors. And First Phorm Outdoors is a part of First Phorm, so they're not two separate companies. I want people to understand that, because the way you brought up how you've been using First Phorm products, but maybe didn't necessarily mesh with the community of the
Yeah.
gym rat, which I was the same way when I first came across First Phorm. I was like, like it's a gym rat kind of community, which, don't get me wrong, like I go to the gym on a regular basis, but I'm not a CrossFit dude. I don't drink that Kool-Aid and tell everyone that I go
Mhm.
lift. Like stuff like that isn't for me, right? And so
Right.
uh but I'm there and every single day, and I just don't dress like it. Like it's just not my thing. But when I had heard that there was going to be, First Phorm Outdoors coming up, I was like, okay, well, that's something. I love the passion around the company, and the products are super high quality. And then moving that
Mhm.
into a passion for the outdoors and getting to know the people that were going to be a part of that community, just I knew it was going to go places, and it really
Mhm.
has in the last couple of years that it's actually been a thing. And so you highlighted on that the quality of the products helping you out, but also the community, right? So the good quality products, which everyone out there is going to tell you that they make the best quality products. Like that's just something you're going to hear from every company. It's a marketing thing, but it's not true. And I've tried it from different perspectives. I've heard it from different people as well. I've tried it, some things may taste really good, but they got a crap ton of sugar, things like that. First Phorm has super high quality products, and their goal, is to literally take this to, well, maybe not literally to the moon. I don't know. Maybe Andy wants to take it to the moon and go put a flag, a First Phorm flag over there. I wouldn't,
On the
yeah, I
moon.
wouldn't doubt it. He's gonna recarve the spot on the moon to be the P.
Yes,
I don't know. He
I
would
love
do something like that. But in reality though, like the thing is, people out there listening, you need to understand this is the only company that I know of, especially in the supplement brands, that gives you 110% money back guarantee. And that's
Mhm.
something that's not talked about enough. You hear people in the outdoor space hear Vortex constantly talking about their lifetime, no questions asked, burn your house down, we'll replace it warranty. First Phorm is very similar in that the way that we talk about it is because you're not going to drink something that you don't like. So if you get a flavor, you try one of the off the wall flavors like root beer float or something like that. For me, it's watermelon. People don't like watermelon so much. I love that little sour taste that you get afterwards. It's perfect for me. But if you get it, you try it, you don't like it, work with customer service. They actually respond to you, and they're in the US. That's something else too. And you're
In
going to get a
our home
response.
state.
Yeah. Yeah. And they live in misery
In
answering your
misery.
emails. Okay. but but they really do. They answer, they get back to you super quick. Anytime I've had someone reach out to me instead of customer service, which I don't know why, but people feel comfortable reaching out to me. That's fine. I'll reach out to customer service, and it's not because I'm a Legionnaire. They respond to me within 24 hours. And I've even had it sometimes on the weekends. And I'm like, dude, go. I'm not asking for a response today. Respond to me on Monday kind of deal. But they're over the top. They want to make sure that you are taken care of. And so I challenge anyone out there, if you've been on the fence, go out there and try the products. And then on top of that, try out the community. Like Gabby's saying, you're going to find she found other mothers that are dealing with similar situations, and they just embraced their love for the outdoors as a way to overcome the postpartum emotions that you're going through, which us men will never understand. And so that's something that you definitely, I highly recommend that you guys go and test out those two things that you've highlighted right there, Gabby. I guess what would be your third thing about First Phorm Outdoors, and whether it be the supplements or the people or whatever it is, something about First Phorm Outdoors that you would also recommend to people, maybe your top, you already mentioned two, so your top third thing about First Phorm Outdoors.
Oh my, there's so many things. I have to just pick three.
I know I'm being mean and making you only pick three.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I guess I mentioned the supplements already, and I know that we've already talked about the supplements. But seriously, like you mentioned, trying other products before. I have also been down that road. I mentioned I was an athlete at one point in my life. Like I have tried other products, and I I don't think I heard you mention this. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the other perk about First Phorm is they don't hurt my belly like other products have. Sometimes you get like protein runs or whatnot if you try other products.
Yeah.
But the flavor is incredible, like you mentioned. But I also don't have that, oh, I don't feel good after I just took my post workout, or I just took, oh, a favorite, peppermint bark.
This
I've
will
been
probably
putting
be
in my,
sold out. This will
it
probably be
is
sold
sold
out by the
out.
time it. Yeah. Well, by the time
Yeah,
this
it's
comes
going to
out,
be
it'll
sold
probably be sold out.
100%.
But
I thought you were
hopefully
telling me that
not.
it was out right now, and I was like,
Yeah. Too late,
hold
Gabby.
on.
You already missed out. Okay.
I've been putting that in my creamies at night.
Yep.
And it's been a great replacement for peppermint ice cream. 'Tis the season. I'm that peppermint girl. Zach makes fun of me for it all the time.
I can't tell that you like Christmas at all. The Grinch
No.
sweater, the Christmas,
Yeah,
the
just
Christmas
because
tree.
I don't actually like traditional Christmas in the sense. Like
Mm.
I am more for the, like, let's go volunteer and donate our time and give back than I am towards like the hallmarked situation of Christmas of what we have now. So I'm actually known for being the Grinch in my family. I'm wearing a Grinch sweatshirt.
Yeah, there you go.
And I have my Christmas tree in the background, so maybe a little false advertising.
No, but sorry, I distracted you there. I was just thinking of
That's all
showing
right.
people some of the odd flavors. So, you've got root beer float for the Formula One. You've got peppermint bark. We just came out with the salted peanut butter,
Oh yeah.
which, I can't wait to try that one. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge, like, I can go eat one of two ways with peanut butter. So I'm really excited to try that one and actually
Mm.
see what it tastes like. Just came out with if people are coffee drinkers, there's a mocha flavor, which I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm not trying that. But for people that love coffee, they say it's an amazing flavor.
That's good.
We got some off the wall. Cherry lime is one, which is usually seasonal. We've got watermelon, orange dreamsicle. We've got a crap ton of just off the wall flavors.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to come out with a grape, but we'll see.
Ooh.
But
Yeah.
a sour grape, kind of a little bit of a
Sour-
sour like that watermelon,
Yeah.
that'd be perfect.
We do use some of the vegan Power Pro at our
Mm,
house. Because with my second, we went through just a lot of, he was projectile vomiting. And so I had to be really
mm,
careful about certain things. And the vegan Power Pro was awesome for me as far as keeping protein up and without having to, pound chicken and
mm.
beef postpartum. You're trying to find time to cook these things. But yeah, I was able to just make shakes out of the vegan Power Pro. And honestly, I like the flavor. And I feel
Yeah,
like I cannot say that for any other vegan anything
yeah.
on the market because a lot of
I
it is gritty.
Yeah, yeah, it's gritty or chalky, and I do notice that, and these are things that I'll say, like I keep going back to the watermelon flavor because I'm on that kick right now, and I just ran out of it, so I'm kind of like, oh, waiting for the next first form box to show up. But the watermelon takes a little bit more water,
Mm,
but if I mix that same amount of water with like root beer float, the root beer float it tastes diluted.
mm,
Whereas if I put more water in the watermelon, it allows it to mix and a mix better. And
mm,
then with let's see, the vegan protein that we have. My daughter she's got some issues with whey, and so I got
mm,
her the iced oatmeal cookie. Oh man, that is the flavor if you're gonna go for the vegan protein. But I do notice it's thicker, and you do need to add, at least for me anyway, a little bit more water.
yeah,
But it doesn't leave like a chalky taste in your mouth, and it's not chunky or gritty like what you were
yeah,
saying. So it's acceptable vegan protein if you need to go with vegan protein.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have that flavor. We also have chocolate frost right now, which I
Mm,
just tried like a couple of months ago,
mm,
and it's really good too if you haven't
mm,
tried it. And then I've heard really good things about the vanilla. I'm just not a
mm.
vanilla
I'm not a vanilla guy.
person, so
Yeah.
I can't
Vanilla
confirm.
belongs mixed with frozen berries or something like that in a shake.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's where vanilla
yeah.
belongs for me.
I'd still
What?
rather have chocolate, I think.
Yeah, we went to. Yeah, I'd rather have white chocolate. Yeah, we went to. When was it? One of these days we went and got some frozen custard. And one of my kids ordered just a scoop of vanilla, and I looked at him. I was like, "Who are you?"
You're not
But
my
it's the
kid.
same. Yeah, it's the same kid that likes Hawaiian style pizza. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where these genes came from, but
Does pineapple belong on pizza? I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah. Okay, all right. With that, we're gonna end the podcast. No, no,
Oh,
the pineapple,
controversy.
I'll eat pineapple if it's got the hot sauce on it. You got to
Oh,
have the hot sauce to throw off the sweet. Like just that sweet is just too much, too much. You gotta throw some
say I've
hot sauce
tried
on there.
it. I can't say I've tried it, so
Yeah.
I'll try
Next
it
time
one
you have
time. Get
Hawaiian
back to
pizza, throw some Cholula hot sauce on it. It'll
Oh,
be good to go. Yeah. There you go.
okay.
But anyway, we're all talking about pizza now. So back to the protein powder. Just like what you were saying, and this is something again I challenge people to go do, and I try and highlight it. I don't highlight it enough. I should highlight it more. But the fact that there is that 110% money back guarantee.
Mm,
If you don't like something or it doesn't agree with you, which I haven't found anyone that says it doesn't agree with them. I have
mm,
found people that say that they don't like certain flavors, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got personal preferences, but reach out to customer support if you don't like it, and they'll make sure you're taken care of. And I can't guarantee what exactly they will do, but I will tell you that you'll be blown away by the experience. Anyone that I've talked to that reaches out to customer support, I mean, they're literally going to be customers for life now because they realize this. If every company acted like this with their customer support, I mean, there'd be a lot better companies out there. And so it's something that you know, I feel like we need to highlight more. But I agree with you there. Just try it out. Amazing flavors. There's so many different options out there. We get the seasonal drops every once in a while, and just go out and try it out. So you'd say your top three are the quality of the supplements. So we'll wrap what you just said into the quality. So I'm still waiting for your third one. So we got quality of the supplements. So they're not going to tear your gut up. We've got the greens that are going to help with your digestion. We've got reds. We've got, you know, the dailies for me are the greens, the megas, the full megas, which has the right proportion of the ingredients that you need for your omegas. You don't just need to toss down a bunch of omegas. And I'll go into that in a separate episode, but check that out, guys, the ingredients on your omegas. And the other staple for me is the microfactor. So those three things for me are dailies, no matter what, no matter where I'm at. I try and make sure I've got those on me. So quality, community, and then what would be your third thing?
I mean, I really feel like education is the third thing for me. I mean, quality, community, and education. The best part about the outdoors group to me is that there is so many other walks of life in the outdoors group. And so there's always people sharing about, you know, something I have no experience in. And I always love to, I primarily have killed all of my deer with bow. So, you know, occasionally you'll have somebody pop on and say like they're just learning bow hunting or they're just learning this or that. And I just think that's awesome, right? Because you're opening up an education for all these different sectors of outdoors, because it doesn't just have to be hunting or, you know, fishing. There's all kinds of really cool stuff that people have gotten into, and found their passions, and they have shared that in the outdoor industry and or in the outdoor Facebook group. And it has been a really neat place for me to go in and just scroll through and see everybody else and their passions and walks of life, and also learn from that if it's not something that I have experience in. You know, or I could just say, you know, hey, Zach, you know, my husband, you're experienced more in this. I saw this on the first Phorm Outdoors group today. You know, what's this about? And have those conversations. So it's been a really great learning tool for me as well. Plus the knockdown challenge, just wrapping up. I think that's just so fun and has brought again to the community, but also the education piece as well, right? Because you're consistently, you know, shooting your bow if you are a person who shoots a bow. So, you know, every time I pick up my bow, I learn something new. And I think that community has really encouraged that piece as well. So I guess I would put education as a third sector there, because I really have learned so much from other people who are just doing things outdoors different than, you know, I don't have access to, you know, certain things here in good old Mo that, you know, is out west or even down south. So,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. It's something that, and what's really funny, and I just want to point this out because we will have had other people on before this one during this week. Every single person that I've had on has said those three things. And this isn't coached. I mean, you could just tell this is something that is ingrained in First Phorm.
yeah.
Is you get the quality products, they taste good, and again, if you don't like the flavor, change the flavor, but you can't deny how easily they mix. If you guys have ever been out to a TAC event or any event where First Phorm is present and you tried the protein shake, we literally take Walmart water bottles, 16 ounces, we pour out some, so it's about 10 ounces of water, and sometimes, depending on the person and how much protein they're wanting, we'll put 2 scoops of Formula One and a scoop of ignition into 10 ounces of water. And I know people are looking, they just look, they're like, that's going to be thick as crap. And I've had people say that, they're like, what, how much are you putting in there? And I'm like, no, just trust me, you know, and I'll just shake it up. No shaker bottle, no little ball, no little filter, nothing. You just shake it up in the water and you give it to them. And like I said, with like watermelon or some of the fruity flavors, for some reason, I don't know what the ingredient is that causes it. need just a little bit more water to get it to mix without chunks. But everything else is super smooth with like
Mhm.
10 ounces of water and 2 scoops of protein. I don't know any other protein out there that you can put 2 scoops of protein and a scoop of ignition into it in 10 ounces of water and it not come out like pudding.
Yeah.
And that comes out so smooth. And people, they'll take a sip, they're like, wow. You know, thin mint is one. You know, the
Mhm.
mint cookie. Oh my goodness, some people just absolutely love that because they love their, their thin mints from the Girl Scouts, right? Get that nice ice and cold water mixed in with that, and people are blown away. Root beer float. Some people are like, oh, protein and root beer. Like, what the heck? They drink it. They're like, holy crap! Tastes like a melted root beer float. You know,
Yeah.
it's just there. It's not something that we're just saying. It is
Yeah.
legitimate. Go try it out. Take that challenge and go do that. Then the community is just unmatched. I mean, there's great communities out there, don't get me wrong, but I have yet to find a community that has so many egos as far as like potential egos and so many just like there's testosterone running rampant because there's all these guys that are out there killing stuff and all this and all that and then the women in there too are getting in on the competition, which is awesome.
Mhm.
And yet at the same time there's this camaraderie in the community where it's not crabs in a bucket mentality. It's more, how can we help each other get better and
Absolutely.
celebrating each other's successes genuinely, not just trying to ride someone's tailcoats or whatever it is. It's literally just a great community of individuals that probably have never met each other in their life, want to see each other get better. And then the education behind First Form, I mean, and I've mentioned this too because it's fresh on my mind because we did just do the Black Friday and we've had
Mhm.
some other sales where they remind us of this, but we are genuinely told and we will get in trouble and shoot out if we don't provide some form of education when we post about a sale or when we're trying to talk to people about a product. You don't just post a picture. You don't just post a little screenshot or a little clip or caption or whatever. You talk about it and
Yep.
why you use it. Because if not, on the back end, they will come after you and ask you, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because we're not just here to sell stuff; we're here to help people. And
Yep.
so that is all encompassing as far as First Form goes. So I appreciate that you highlighted those 3 things. It's just it's a common theme. But with that being said, Gabby, is there anything else that you want to leave with the people listening here? And then where can they find you if they want to reach out to you and bug you with their questions?
Yeah. I guess the only thing I have to add is to, if you haven't ever heard of First Form Outdoors before, or even First Form in general, to really just, check them out, see what they're all about, uh, explore the page, join the First Form Outdoors Facebook group, see what it's about, see if it's a community that you can vibe with. I think it will be once you find it. But just give it a try and see what happens. You don't know without opening up that door. Um, and then as far as where you can find me, I'm on Instagram. It's Gabby, Gabby Playle, Playle. I am on Ticker Talker. It's what we call it at our house. Same username, Gabby, Gabby.Playle. And then we do have a Facebook group. It's called Rooted in Reality, where it's Zach and I have a combined Facebook group that we're just really passionate about getting back to our roots and gardening and some fun stuff like that. But you can find that in our Instagram bios, both Zach and I's Instagrams. And I'm on Facebook as well as Gabby Playle, and I am a public person on there, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find me if you just search via my name.
Awesome.
I think
Cool.
that's
Well, I
it.
appreciate that, Gabby. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm going to leave the links down below where you can find Gabby. You can find their Facebook group as well. Because, that's the other thing too, guys, is honestly, yes, I have my community. I've got the Day One crew. Gabby's got her community with her husband. Other guests that we've had on and we'll have on throughout this week have their groups as well. It's not an exclusive thing. We want you
Mm,
in. All of us want you in on First Form Outdoors. That is the one that we would say start there. And then each group is going to offer something different that we have because, again, some people are going to appreciate the way you teach things, the way you talk about things and rooted in reality. You're going to you're going to talk about things that I'm not going to talk about in the day one crew. And so we want you guys to be able to pull from all of these different communities and make your life better, and just to get outdoors and to live a happier, healthier, more successful life. And, you know, with the first Phorm saying, we want you to experience more of life, whatever that is for you.
100%.
Hopefully you Midwesterners and Easterners get out to come hunt the most majestic elk there are around out here out west.
It's a
Because
bucket list item for me.
even though there's elk out east, which my mom reminds me of that, she'll send me, after I come home without a tag field, she'll send me a video of western North Carolina where there's traffic jams because there's so many elk in the road. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Yes, I know I didn't get one.
Oh my goodness.
But
Little
either
family
way,
competition.
yeah. Oh yeah, right. Seriously though. But with that being said, thanks so much, Gabby, for coming on. Guys, I'm gonna leave all the links down below where you can find Gabby, her group, and the first Phorm Outdoors group. Check it out. Take our challenge, guys. Go try the products. Again, 110% money back guarantee. Nobody's gonna judge you if you don't like the flavor. Unless it's root beer float, then we'll pick on you for not liking that one. But go check it out, guys. Have an amazing day, and of course, get out, live your life, and love it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I've got Zach here. We've had his wife on the podcast as well. Just this week, as we're talking to you guys about why we appreciate and are a part of and loving the community with First Phorm Outdoors and First Phorm, of course. First Phorm Outdoors is a branch of First Phorm. For those that don't know much about it, first off, where have you been? If you're new, obviously you haven't been listening to my podcast very much, but if you have been, then I don't know how you don't know about First Phorm Outdoors. So with that being said, I bring Zach on. I've got a bunch of other people that we've got on this week just to give you their perspectives from people literally from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast and everything in between: elk hunters, whitetail hunters, predator hunters, mule deer hunters, pronghorn, whatever it is, from their perspective, why they choose First Phorm Outdoors in that community, what it means to them. So Zach here, he works with the Drury Outdoors guys. He does media. He absolutely loves getting out and getting after some whitetail, which I'm looking behind him there. He's got some pretty good looking whitetails back there that he's got mounted up on the wall. And so with that being said, Zach, for people that don't know who you are you in a nutshell?
So, mortician by trade, which not a lot of people know that. It's a little different. It's family business. I'm the third generation in it. And I've just been raised in an outdoor hunting family. There's pictures of me all the way back to when I was in diapers running turkey calls. So it's been ingrained into me since I was very young. And I've been very thankful for that because it's a big, big portion of my life. Hopefully, I've got 2 kids now. Passed it on to my wife when we got married, introduced her into the outdoors, and thankfully she took to it. And now, hopefully, down the road, we'll get to introduce it to my kids one day. So, looking forward to that.
That's awesome. Well, I do want to ask, you mentioned turkey calls. What's your favorite animal to hunt?
It's turkeys, and it's not even.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I've never elk hunted, and people say that once I get that into me, it's kind of the crossbreed between whitetails and turkeys, so that might change my opinion a little bit, but to this, turkeys are my thing. I could give, if I could hunt from the day South Florida opens in the spring until May 31st, I would give up the rest of it. There's no doubt about it.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. Turkeys are fun. They're some of the smartest dumb animals that I know of, and I haven't hunted them a ton, but I also want to ask you, with loving turkeys so much, are they meant to be shot in the face with a shotgun, or are you okay with doing it with a bow?
So, I went the whole route of, I'm going to give it a try one time. And I was full-blooded, not hunting out of a blind. I was on the ground with them, like decoys were 7 steps from me, and had success with it. And as soon as it happened, I turned to my buddy. He was with me filming. And I said it would have been so much better to smack him in the face with a shotgun. He came rolling in, just hammering every 10 steps, like he was just jazzed. And then, of course, I was trying to head shoot him, and I missed him the first shot. And then as he's walking away, I ended up just putting a lethal shot on him. And I turned to him and was like, that's the last time. So
I hear that from a lot of Southern guys, a lot of guys that are big into turkeys. They're like, yeah, you're doing it wrong if you're doing it with a bow, which, it is what it is. The couple that I've gotten do what?
Everybody's got their poison.
Oh yeah, exactly. But no, I can respect it. And I love asking that because it's definitely something that, everyone's got their own thing, and I like to hear about it. So, with that being said, so you love turkeys. Don't ever mention to my buddy Dan that it's a crossbreed with anything. Turkeys don't they don't compare to elk for the true elk hunter. It's people say they do because you talk to them. You can talk back and forth and call to them, and they kind of herd up, but I don't know. I feel like each animal's got its own thing. Mule deer do their own thing. Elk do their own thing. Turkeys are their own thing. And turkeys are probably one of the more annoying things. But
they can get on your skin, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Those little heads, man, I'm telling you, that little head, when you see that, you're coming up over this little hill, and you see that head, and you're busted, you're like, frick, because they just blend right in with the grass until they turn sideways. You're like, oh, man, come on. That's awesome. So, Zach, we want to talk a little bit here about kind of your journey with First Phorm. How long have you been participating in, I guess, First Phorm supplements? Was it before First Phorm Outdoors? Did you come on when you saw First Phorm Outdoors was launching? What's kind of been your experience with First Phorm?
So we've used First Phorm for a very long time. My wife got into it 7-8 years ago. It's been a while, because when she moved here, after we got married, they're a local company. They're 3 hours from us, not that far, in St. Louis. So I don't know if it was just the way that social media brought it about. It kind of got brought up, and we're big on supporting local. So with knowing it was a Missouri company, we were, both of us being previous athletes, we were like, heck yeah, let's give it a try. And there's no comparison. Being previous athletes, both of us played collegiately in college. We've tried it all. So it's night and day difference once you finally find a product that, one, with all their flavors, like, they taste good. And two, it's something that's actually, like, you can show the difference when you're consistent on your end on top of using their supplements too.
Exactly. Yeah,
kind of
and I wanted to ask about that, just because obviously being an athlete, both of you being athletes, but being a collegiate athlete, you were introduced, you had supplements, you had, protein powders and stuff that they wanted you to dial in your nutrition with. So you've tried, obviously you've had experience with multiple different companies, and you notice the difference with First Phorm. I guess what would be, I don't know, one or two takeaways that you've noticed the biggest difference when you're being consistent? Obviously that's the key, compared to other companies with First Phorm.
So it's just really, it all comes down to, with me, from what I've tried, is the quality of the product. And what I mean by that is the taste. You're not having to absolutely just chug it down and grin and bear it and know that you're doing it because there is a result at the end of the day from that product. But like, actually enjoying the product is huge for me, especially now. Like, yes, it does benefit me health wise, fitness wise, everything like that. But like, if I don't enjoy it when I'm drinking it or however I'm using it, there's no real benefit to me in that sense. So that's really the biggest one, because like, you can have problems with some digestion with some proteins and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, I've went through a lot of them, so there's been a lot of different things, but that's the biggest one with them, is their quality of the products. It's just hands and away better than everybody else that I've tried, at least.
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things that, and like you said, the taste is really good. And then also the digestion portion of it, because there's definitely companies out there that maybe you take one shake a day and it doesn't mess with you too much. But if you're adding like 2 shakes a day or 2 scoops, trying to get the protein that you need for the day, to be able to hit your goals, you start to notice it for sure.
Oh yeah.
And there's issues that can come up from that. And I get that a lot from from people that maybe do even just half a scoop of protein a day from these other sources. I'm like, well, you may not notice that big of a difference, but you're probably also not absorbing all the protein because it's denatured due to it not being that, low temperature process.
Exactly.
So all of that, and your body recognizes that, and that's why it rejects it and causes all those gut issues when it's not low temperature processed. And for people that don't know what that is, again, where have you been? Because I've been talking about it. But if you're new, with low temperature processed is just simply not denaturing the protein, not burning it. Essentially, is what it would be. You could kind of simplify it and say it's not burning it. It's like when you get it's like a well done steak versus a medium rare steak, right? You want that medium rare steak because you still get the good flavor, you get the good texture. It's not hard as a brick. Your body digests it better. It's just overall better in general. So that's what you're getting with the First Phorm protein and the quality there. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been taking it for 7-8 years. It's a local company for you guys, which is awesome, being in there in Missouri. And then why did you? Well, I mean, I could assume why, but naturally you gravitated towards First Phorm Outdoors once that launched. What are your top 3, I guess, standout takeaways from the First Phorm Outdoors or First Phorm in general?
I would say the biggest one is the community. You just get people that are like-minded, all pulling in the same direction, but all also want you to have success as much as they're having success, which is big, especially with people who are struggling. My wife and I just this past year have finally, I would say, taken a handle on things, fitness-wise, health-wise. She's lost, I think she's in the 60s, and I ended up dropping about 50 pounds from the first of the year. So it's been a thing that we needed to do, and we knew we both had from our previous pedigrees with sports. It's just a thing of we never really consistently did it until finally taking hold of those reins and doing it. But the community is the biggest thing. You just have people who are all wanting you to win each and every day, and that helps you push to win. You don't want to let anybody down in that sense. Their quality of product obviously is one thing. And then just kind of in the outdoor space, with me being I've been in the outdoor space for the most part since I was 8. I'm 28, so about 20 years. And seeing the benefit the fitness and health side can bring to the outdoor space is a big thing that I don't think a lot of people see. This year, for me, example, I'm chasing a good one here and doing a lot of chasing. And if this was last year, I don't think I would have been able to hunt quite as hard for this deer and do the things that I've been doing because of that. And that's me coming from a whitetail hunter in the Midwest, which you wouldn't think is big a deal as it would be out west or whatever the case may be. But it's definitely been something that's opened my eyes this year as the way I was able to do things and do more things and go harder and further into things and be a little more aggressive than I have in the past. So that's probably the biggest things that I've noticed and really like about the community. And like I said, it's just a big community is the biggest thing that I really attracted to from it all.
No, for sure. So community, quality of products, and then I guess that last one with just talking about fitness and how that applies to the outdoors. I guess if there was one word that you would use to describe, I guess teaching people about fitness, the importance of fitness in the outdoors, what would be the one word that you would throw at that?
Consistency. It allows you to be more consistent. And consistency is one. That's probably going to be the one that I'm going to think of right now offhand.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, so it's consistent. So there's a lot of other groups and companies and I mean our competition, to be honest with you, that there's ebbs and flows. there's sales, and then there's nothing, and then there's New Year's, and then there's nothing, and then it just kind of goes back and forth. I love that you drop in there consistency, because that's something that it's not just there's hardly ever, if ever, sales with First Phorm. It's usually you're still purchasing your normal stuff. You just get some extra gear for free, kind of giveaways, deals, and there with consistency, just talking about how consistent the message is about, especially in the outdoors, about being as fit as possible for what your goals are. It's not always about being the most jacked dude in the room. It's more about, like what you're saying, as a whitetail hunter, losing those 50 pounds this year. You've noticed the difference, even and I say even as it, that's not meant to be mean, but as a whitetail hunter, that you're not going up these huge mountains. There's still hills in Missouri and things that you do have to go up and down. You have to climb up a tree, but there's also other aspects to fitness that you don't want to be exhausted when you get home from hunting, because then that's going to ruin the experience for your spouse, for your kids. They're not going to want you to go hunting, because when you come home, you're miserable and you're just sitting on the couch. You didn't get the deer, so you're like sitting there like, oh, all miserable and stuff, instead of having the energy that you can have by being in shape for that, right? Even if you're not married and don't have kids, sitting in a tree stand can be dangerous if you are overweight. One, the tree stand might not be able to hold you. You got to carry in a bigger tree stand. Two, you limit your ability to hunt, because maybe you have to sit a certain stand so that it can hold your weight. You can't turn in the stand to shoot if the deer comes from a certain angle. There's so many things to go along with that. And also the idea of blood flow. You can cut off circulation to your legs. You can have an issue with apnea, where maybe you pass out in the stand, and hopefully you're wearing a harness, you don't fall out of the tree. But like, all of these things can limit your opportunities as a whitetail hunter. Even if you're not out here chasing elk up and down mountains and mule deer all around the place, or antelope, you're stalking them, hundreds of yards on the plains out here. You're still limited as a whitetail hunter based on your fitness. People joke about dragging a deer out. Yeah, that's part of it, but the whole idea of overall health is huge, and being consistent. Also, with the consistency piece, is passing it down to people that, and most people do want to pass it down to their kids. They want to share that legacy with them and your grandkids, and hopefully you're around long enough to have great grandkids while you're alive. And you want to pass that down to them, and you want to be outrunning your grandkids when you're out there playing. You don't want to be the grandpa that is kind of stuck in a chair and not able to do anything. So all of those things are consistency. And also, kind of to harp on that piece while I'm on my soapbox here, is while people talk about, that if you listen to Dave Ramsey or anyone else that you listen to for financial advice, they talk about the earlier you start putting away for retirement, the smaller amounts you have to put away at a younger age to have the bigger return in the end. Whereas if you start putting in more money later in age, you have to put in more later to get the same result in the end. And it's the same with fitness. No, I don't hear this talked about very much in the fitness industry, or the health industry in general, where if you put small investments in every day, you get a bigger return on the back end, versus if you start putting in those big, you can still start at a later date. I'm not saying you can't, but it's easier to start now than it will be 5 years from now, wherever it is, whatever age you're in, age class you're in right now. So all of those things go along with consistency. And then community. So you brought up a couple things I'd like you to maybe elaborate on. So you talked about, with the community, people wanting you to succeed. So elaborate that a little bit more for people that aren't in either the Facebook group or don't have other friends that are in the First Phorm Outdoors community.
So yeah, it's just like, people you never met before wouldn't know, from both ends of the country, everything in between. Like, they're just all pulling in the same direction, and it doesn't matter who it is, male, female, young, old, it doesn't matter. They're always, you don't find people who aren't wanting you to succeed, wanting you to hit your goals, wanting you to be consistent every day, which is big. Like I said, for you to be consistent, to have somebody kicking you in the butt each day, to make sure you stay consistent, it's a heck of a lot easier to do that than trying just to, I mean, everybody's got their own willpower. Some are better than others. And that has a lot to do with maybe why somebody isn't in the spot that they want to be in, because they don't have that push behind them if they don't have as good a willpower as others. So having that extra kick behind you and push behind you to know that there's other people out there who are in the same boat as you, who are wanting the same things as you, is just helps at the end of the day.
Exactly. That's the key with, social media can be used for good and bad. And the good part of social media is there's people like you and I would have never met if it hadn't been for social media. Now obviously we text and we've got each other's phone numbers, but before that, I would have never known who you were. I probably, honestly, other than driving through Missouri, may have never gone to Missouri in my life. And that's just something that I just, would have never done. Maybe gone to St. Louis possibly to see the Arch, and maybe a Cardinals game possibly, but that's a long shot. And so for me, it's huge that you get to build these communities and have these communities of people that are literally across nations and oceans, sometimes in different countries, so that you can have someone that you can mesh with, and your network grows exponentially. You can do so many different things now with that ability. So with that community, obviously there's the First Phorm Outdoors on Instagram, but if people are on Facebook, this is one of the two reasons why I'm still on Facebook, to be honest with you, is the First Phorm Outdoors community on Facebook. In there, you're going to find people that, whatever it is, even if you're not a hunter, even if you're not a fisherman, even if you're not into killing animals, or harvesting, whatever, you maybe are just a hiker or someone who enjoys going camping. You're going to find someone, either your next hiking buddy, you're going to find other families. If your family's looking for other families that have kids, can go camping with and spend time. You can do all of that on this Facebook group. It's all encompassing. There's different chat groups where you can go in and ask questions about archery or rifle or fishing or hiking or camping, whatever. There's all those different groups in there that you can find a new friend or another family that you guys can mesh with. So I highly recommend that people go in and do that for sure on Facebook. And then last but not least, the quality of the ingredients. There's a lot of things. It's funny, whenever I hand people, like, for example, I hand people one of these, right? And they're like, the first thing, obviously it's in big print. It stands out, right? Other than the P, the logo is pretty cool because, we're taking on Nike. Watch out. Right here, that right there stands out to everyone. As they're ripping it, they're like, wait, this has 20 grams of protein. And then they go and look at it and they're like, okay, no nitrates. Because a lot of people that are eating these cleaner meat sticks are looking for no nitrates, no MSG, right? And of course, that's the next things that stand out. And then they're like, wow, there's only 170 calories in there. So these things are about as lean as you can get when it comes to jerky or meat sticks. I love jerky, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it gets a little dry. And if it's not dry, it's because there's some kind of preservative in there. This is not dry, and it's also not greasy, right? And so these are things that are always in my backpacks. My kids eat me out of house and home with these things, for their dance snacks or jujitsu snacks, whatever. They always take them everywhere they go. So the kids like them. They obviously taste good. But the quality and the taste is something that is by far unmatched. And that's coming from you as a previous athlete, a collegiate athlete, and I would say, an athlete still as a hunter. And you're chasing people around with a camera. So that takes some skill too. You got to be on your game for that as well.
Yeah, it's just, when you've tried as many as you can get skeptical with, oh yeah, like somebody says, oh yeah, this tastes like it says it's going to. And it's just something, once you try it and you start trying multiple products and it says, for example, what I took this morning, it says berry lemonade on the side. It tastes like berry lemonade. Like, whatever the flavor is, they hit the taste, and there's not been a bad one that I've tried. So that's just, it's, like I said, it goes back to the enjoyment on top of what your benefits are for the reason you're taking it, to enjoy it as well. That's something that stands alone, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's something that's similar for those of you out there that are concealed carriers. It's the same thing with a pistol. If it's too big, too bulky, it may be better for you because you've got more rounds. It's a better grip, everything, but you're not going to carry it if it's sticking out of your shirt or hurting your hip or whatever is going on. You're not going to do that, right? So it's the same with supplements here, where we want you to, first off, I do want to make sure that people understand as well, this is not a replacement for food. This is a supplement, and we treat it that way. It's something to fill gaps in your diet, whatever your diet is. And so some people, it might be better to get a couple tubs of protein versus someone else may just need one tub of protein, but some micronutrient help. Other people may need the greens. It just depends on who and what you need, right? It's not one size fits all. We just rubber stamp it. Everyone gets the same stuff. And so with that, we want it to taste good. And I'm going to drill this point home. You guys are going to be sick of hearing it from me by the time this week is over. But we have a 110% money back guarantee. Name me one other supplement company out there that believes in their product so much that they are willing to have, first off, customer support here in the US that will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours, usually quicker than that. And two, fix a mistake in flavoring. You don't like the way it tastes, reach out to customer support and they'll get you fixed up. They'll make sure you're taken care of. That I don't know any other company that trusts their product so much. They're willing to offer not just 100% money back guarantee, but 110% money back guarantee on the product if you don't like it, whatever it is, even if it's just the flavor.
Yeah, that's big. And their customer service, if you ever have to deal with them, have dealt with them, it's normally they're getting your problem solved within 24 to 48 hours. Mm-hmm. It's not just getting back to you in that time. So that's pretty, I mean, it's pretty impressive. But
it's insane.
Yeah.
And you said if you have to deal with their customer service, I'm going to tell you, if you ever get an email from the customer service, you're going to want to deal with the customer service.
Yeah.
It's not like other companies where you're pulling teeth trying to get a hold of somebody. I mean, they even drop their Instagram handles in there. They want you to go look them up. They want to chat with you outside of how they can fix your problems. They want to make sure you are taken care of to the nth degree. And so it's just, even from the quality of the products, not an ad, but this is the best flavor. From a quality of the products to the quality of the customer support and more, it's just ingrained in the company. So I couldn't agree with you more. Those are definitely top three right there. Why First Phorm? Why First Phorm Outdoors? And as you guys are heading into this new year, as you have all these goals and ambitions, we don't want you to just drop off after February like the majority of people do. February, March, everyone drops off. I don't mind it at the gym because then things open back up a little bit for us constant gym goers. But at the same time, it kind of makes me sad when I see the parking lot emptying out. I'm like, dang it. Like, man, I wanted to see these people succeed. I wanted to see that one dude that's struggling on the treadmill keep going. And so those are the kind of things that we support, that we want. So we want you to have that community like Zach was talking about that will constantly uplift you. It's not a crabs in a bucket mentality. Everyone wants you to succeed, and we celebrate each other's successes. And it'll get to the point where you're going to have someone that eventually, if you're not either posting or commenting or talking to people in there, they're going to reach out to you and be like, hey dude, what's going on? And not one of us as like the heads of First Phorm Outdoors, but someone in the group, because everyone in there wants to see you succeed. So with that being said, Zach, where can people find you? And do you have anything else that you want to leave with the audience here?
I'm on Instagram. That's my big one. I'm not huge on Facebook. I'm like you. If I didn't have to do with Facebook for work, I would not have a Facebook. But, Instagram, it's z.playle 15_ _ Outdoors. That's me. Trying to get a little more consistent. My wife's been on me. Been with ebbs and flows with being consistent in there, but trying to do a lot better with that. But that's the big one. No.
Awesome. And then anything else you want to leave with the audience here?
No, just go out, win the day, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and try to be 1% better than you were yesterday.
Exactly. And I want to share something with you that I saw and I read and heard the other day as well. If you're 1% better every single day consistently for 70 days, at the end of those 70 days, you are twice as good as you were when you started. So all it takes is 70 days. So it's two months and 10 days, right?
Yep.
To be twice as good as you are today. That's crazy. Even if you're just 1% better. So I love the 1%, and I'm going to just start every time I talk about or hear about the 1%, I'm going to just add that. All it takes is 70 days to be twice as good as you are today by adding 1% more every day. So appreciate you, Zach. Thank you so much for hopping on here. Guys, I'm going to leave the links down below where you can find Zach, where you can join us over at the First Phorm Outdoors Facebook group. Come chat with us, talk, again, anything from fishing to hiking to hunting to outdoors. Maybe you're taking a trip with your family out here this summer, out west. Maybe you're going out to Missouri, sorry. No, if you're going out to Missouri and you want to talk to Zach about whitetail hunting or what's going on in Missouri, what there is to see there, because it is a beautiful state, go check out those links down below, guys. And if you're interested in anything with First Phorm products, reach out to me, reach out to Zach, get our opinions on it, and we'd be more than happy to help. And with that being said, guys, last thing, I'm going to leave your group as well. I think your wife mentioned you guys have a group together. What's it called?
We just started one on Facebook. Yep, Rooted in Reality. Yep.
Rooted in Reality. So I'm going to leave that link down there as well, guys. That's the other thing you'll notice. My group offers you something. Zach's group's going to offer you something. And everyone else throughout this week that has a group, I'm going to list them down below because, again, we're not in here to pull people from each other. We want you guys to get something from all of us so that you can improve on whatever your goals are. And so with that being said, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Zach, thank you for your time. And everyone out there, as I always say, get out, live your life, and love it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Let's not stop.